Don't be a seagull leader, meaning coming out of your office only once in a while, flying around and shitting on your staff. I've seen some of those. Don't blame staff for the current situation that the agency or your platoon or your squad is in right now. Putting the blame on your staff is not the answer to being a good leader. Hi, I'm Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe if you like this video. Just wanted to go over a few things about being a leader that tend to stand in the way of being a good leader, also put you in a bad light with your staff. And then there's a couple of things that you have to do that staff must realize must be done and they should not get upset with. My number one issue is when an officer comes up and says, hey, I have a problem, I need to talk to you, and you're one of these leaders that immediately says, I don't have time for this, don't bother me right now. Well, I hate to tell you this, but you signed up for the entire package, meaning you have to do your paperwork as a leader, you have to do your supervising as a leader, you have to do your training, advising, and counseling as a leader. It's all included. So you do have time. You better make time. Now, if you can't talk to this officer right then, understandable. Something's going on, you got to take care of that. It's not an emergency. At the moment, you tell the officer, I want to get with you. Let me take care of some things I've got going on right now. Please, I want to get back with you, and I'm going to set some time aside today to get with you. Now you've told your officer who has a problem, who's come to you with a situation. You don't know what it is yet, but whatever it is, it needs to be heard. And then you give the answer to the officer when you get with them. But don't brush them off, which I've seen done. Don't have time right now. Don't bother me. And take off. No, no, no. You signed up to be a leader. You be a leader. Okay? Number two thing that really bothers me is when a leader takes all the credit. Don't take all the credit. You're more of a man or a woman, and you're more of a leader when you give the credit to those who helped you accomplish the mission. You ever see the leaders? Yes, I got it done. Thank God I was there. They wouldn't have been able to get it done without me. I mean, that sounds sarcastic, but it has happened, and it's not good. Now your officers are looking at you like you're the credit taker. You want all the credit. You want to shine in the eyes of management. You're forgetting about us. No, you should say, I couldn't have done it without my officers. I couldn't have done it without my front line. I can't take the credit on this one. It was my front line. You know, I went out there and told them what we need to get done. I told them what has to be done, and it got done. Now you're a leader. You're giving credit to the others on the team that helped you accomplish the mission. Don't be a me leader. Don't take all the credit for everything, okay? Give credit where credit is due. Don't play favorites is another pet peeve of mine. Playing favorites always drove me nuts when I saw that. You know, treat all officers the same. Yes, you have some officers that can do the job better. But you know what? Use them. Use them and get the job done. But you also need to take those officers that are not getting the job done and get them up to par. And get them in the ball game, folks. Don't leave them as second and third string and always go to your first string officers. I know you want to use your first string officers that you know get the job done right. You know they're going to get it done, and you know you don't have to come back and check on them. But unfortunately, you signed up for what? The whole package when you asked to be sergeant or above. Meaning, those officers that are not quite up to par, and you're a little worried to give them the assignment, you need to get them up to par. Now, you can do that yourself with counseling as a leader, because you're going to have to find the time to do that, because you signed up for the whole package. You can assign them a senior officer mentor who can help get them up to par and delegate some of your work to some of the senior officers. You know, like in our agency, we had master deputies. Some agencies call them corporals. Pass that authority of yours down to them and let them help ease your workload as a supervisor, you know? But don't just always give it to the same people, because what happens, those people who get the job done, get it done right, they're going to get burned out after a while. It's going to be like, oh man, I'm looking around and 5 of us are doing the tasks, the major tasks, but we have 26 people on this shift, you know? Get everybody up to par. That's your job as a leader too. Get everybody built up. Some of those that are a little behind, when you build them up and get them up to par, you might be surprised at how they grow. They may actually grow and advance over some of your senior officers who are getting the job done. It's all about building them up. You know, not you. You're already a leader, a supervisor. Build up the rest of those folks. Don't take the whole show and try to shine for yourselves for the next promotion. If your officers are succeeding and your team is succeeding, you don't have to try to get in the limelight as a supervisor to your upper management. Look at me, look what I can do. They'll see what you can do by the success of your team. Okay? Don't try to do it all yourself, okay? There are some supervisors who are like, okay, I'm going to have to take it and do this myself. Well, you want to be a leader that gets your people to follow you willingly, that willingly want to work for you. So if you're having to do all the work yourself, stop and take a look at yourself. Where are you? You know, ask yourself, where am I as a supervisor? Am I doing something wrong because I'm putting the tasks out there, they're not getting it done? Well, one thing you're doing wrong is you're going out there and doing the task yourself. No, I'm not saying don't go help when they need help, when they're short of staff. Go out there and help feed. Maybe you have to do a medical watch sometimes as a supervisor. That shows you're a team player. I'm talking about doing the work and not making your staff do the work. They're going to start to see you as, well, he'll get it done. She'll get it done. I'm not even going to worry about it. No, don't let that game be played on you as a supervisor, okay? Equal opportunity for all, because we all signed up for this job and we all have to take part in getting the job done, and we all have to be team players, okay? Don't ignore agency policy ever, because listen, as a supervisor, you want to make the right decisions and you want to teach your staff to make the right decisions. Look, agency policy is there for a guideline. Every situation we run into as a correctional officer is a little bit different. Yes, you may have to veer a little to the right, veer a little to the left for each different scenario that pops up on your shift. But don't veer away from agency policy. You want your officers to also know that the policy and procedure is there to keep you safe and keep you a job. Don't lose your job by going way out of bounds and doing something irrational. And by doing this as a leader and giving the wrong orders, you're teaching these staff that they can do things that they're not supposed to do. Keep it down the line. Keep it on the straight and narrow. We know you have to veer to the left and right on different situations, but just keep those policies and procedures in mind, okay? And do not reject reports of staff misconduct. I'm going to end it there. When you hear about an officer doing something wrong, let's say administrative, handle it, stop it, cut it off before it gets too crazy and turns into an investigation. You signed up for the whole package. You've got to watch out for these things as well, right? As a supervisor, as a leader. Don't ignore them, okay? If you start ignoring reports, especially if they're criminal reports, an officer committed a crime, I believe. Well, number one, you're going to make sure that this person reporting it has some evidence, not just I think, because we don't go by I think. You want to know, did you see it? Did you find something? Did you find something on an inmate? Did you find something in an officer's lunchbox? Whatever it may be, have some type of evidence. And as a supervisor, don't ignore it and don't try to cover it up. You know why? It always comes back to bite you in the ass, and you as the supervisor will lose your job, and so will those staff members. Follow up on these reports. Make sure you check them out closely. Make sure you do the right thing. And if you feel something is there, or something about that allegation seems correct, send it up the line and let them make the final decision up the line. Get it off your back. Just a few things I wanted to put out today about being a leader, being a supervisor, and please don't be a seagull leader. Don't fly around and shit on your officers. Thank you for watching. Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe.